Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Let's not waste any time. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, sitting over $3 trillion. That's been a minute. For the cryptocurrency market cap here, $3.02 trillion. We're up 5.2%, and it is welcomed. Right now, 89,300 plus for Bitcoin, 2,100 plus for Ethereum. XRP back at a number 4 spot. It's been bouncing back and forth between 3 and 4 spot. We're at 247. We're up 1.7 on the 24. We're up 10.9 on the 7-day. Let's take a look at the range of price. We're ranging between 232 and 253. And we got a chart for you to see before you get out of here today, too. But right now, I want to remind you about XRP Las Vegas, the largest XRP conference in the world, May 30th, May 31st, 2025. Click that button right there. Get your tickets before they're gone. Oh my goodness, 85 days left. And let's look at the new additions we've got coming. Oh, there's a lot of them. Kevin Maloney, I Trust Capital, Dr. Chris Brummer, Blueprint, Simon McLaughlin, Uphold. We got Brad Garlinghouse on stage this year, Fireside Chat with Dr. Brummer. Chris Giancarlo from the Digital Dollar Project. I'll be sitting with him. And look at this, President of the Digital Chamber, Cody Carbone. Jake Boyle from Caleb and Brown. Artur Kurjakulov from XP Market. I think I got it right, Artur. Andy Scheckman from Miles Franklin, Jason Cousins from Glint, Zhang Enterprises, Lynette Zhang. You won't believe what they're going to be getting into this year. The monetary transition is underway, ladies and gentlemen. It involves digital ledger technology, distributed ledger technology, and gold, precious metals, and digital assets. James Murphy, ladies and gentlemen, Meta lawman Johnny Deaton, former senatorial candidate and represents XRP holders 75,000 plus strong. David Schwartz on stage again this year. What do you suppose he'll be talking about? What do you think they're going to talk about on that legal panel? Maybe a strategic reserve, maybe? Paul Barron is going to be there in a very, very big way, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe the way his presence is going to look at this conference. Web3 Industries talking about real estate tokenization. They're already doing it. Bitwise is Matt Hogan. Phil and Dom Kwok representing over 1 million builders. Gregos Vlachos from Axelar. President of MoonPay. My God, I got to stop. We got to get going here. Get your ticket. Remember, Bitcoin Vegas is happening 3 days right in front of XRP Las Vegas. So hotels and rooms are going to book up fast. Click the links, get your tickets and rooms, and get it out of the way. Remember when President Trump said this?
You're embracing crypto. Very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto.
We're going to do something great with crypto. And here you know, that was the announcement just this Sunday. Stay with me. First announcement was a U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration. Well said. Which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the President Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and ADA. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. We're making America great again. Then a minute later comes out, and obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum, as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. It feels like an honorable mention, right? It really does. We know that these assets, XRP, Solana, and ADA, are U.S. domiciled assets, where Bitcoin and Ethereum are not. Billions in XRP tokens and thousands of Bitcoin were sent to exchanges shortly after President Trump revealed plans to include the assets as a part of a U.S. crypto strategic reserve. Now that is interesting, isn't it? Someone's expecting a boom in short order. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who holds hundreds of millions of dollars in possession of Bitcoin, said this: President Trump will unveil a Bitcoin reserve strategy at the White House Crypto Summit, which is this Friday. Okay, I'm cool with that. But tell us who Satoshi is and the 4 Satoshis are, because if you don't, then that tells me it's a government psyop, and that's why Bitcoin was created to begin with. Like it or don't like it, those are your choices. Listen to this quick clip right here.
President Trump's announcement of a strategic crypto reserve, a sort of announcement, is exposing a rift among some of his biggest Silicon Valley backers. Deirdre Bosa has more in today's Tech Check. Deirdre?
Hey, Kelly. So this really exposes a deeper ideological battle within Silicon Valley's pro-Trump faction. It pits those in favor of less regulation at any cost against libertarians who see this as potential distortion of free markets against the Bitcoin maximalists who see other coins as diluting Bitcoin's narrative. Now, these tensions, they were on public display over the weekend. The administration's crypto czar, David Sachs, facing off against Joe Lonsdale, an influential ally. Lonsdale critiqued the use of taxpayer money for a U.S. crypto reserve. That put Sachs on the defense. And then you had Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, indirectly questioning the rationale behind diversifying the reserve, suggesting that a Bitcoin-only option would be the best option. You also had one of the Winklevoss twins as well coming out against it. It has also led to accusations of self-dealing among VCs that have gained influence in the White House. While Sachs says that he has sold his crypto positions, he's still an early investor in Bitwise, a crypto asset management firm whose top 5 holdings, you're looking at it right now, and its BITW fund, are the exact cryptos the president announced for inclusion in the reserve. Now, to be fair,
I'm sure it was a lucky guess. Boy, that propaganda machine's pushing hard. I'll tell you that. Here's what I'll say. It's interesting because, you're seeing this massive fight for dominance in a strategic reserve. And again, not one XRP holder has called for exclusivity in a strategic reserve. It's only Bitcoin maximalists. And it's because it's based on fear. I don't even know if they know that. I swear to God, I don't even know if they know it. Look, you want to get down to brass tacks? Let's get down to it then, because here's what the truth is. The truth is that Bitcoin has become the largest, most popular meme coin in the world. And congratulations to it, because it can't be used in any meaningful way for payments. So the reality is you tell me what the difference between a meme coin and Bitcoin is, except for the size of market cap, which means it was the first meme coin. It currently has 5 to 7 to 10 transactions per second. Well, setting the world on fire, is it? There's meme coins that have more faster settlement time than that. Right? That's the truth. If you don't like the truth, turn it off. Change the channel. But I'm going to talk about what the truth is. Here's another truth. Right now, $1 to $5. It's cheaper to go to an ATM machine and get money out than it is to use the Bitcoin network. It surges to $15 to $50+. Back when Bitcoin hit $60,000, I had one. I moved it from one place to another and was charged over $4,000 to do it. Bitcoin is not a solution for the future. Now, it's cool if you want to bet on it and have it be a speculative asset. I'm totally into it. And at times I hold large positions in it. But the reality is it is apples and oranges to discuss XRP against Bitcoin. They are not the same. That is for certain. Not by a mile. Meanwhile, Brad Garlinghouse continues to work to bring the community and the industry together. National Cryptocurrency Association, proud to announce the launch of National Crypto Association, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping Americans better understand crypto. This is the kind of effort you always see Ripple supporting right here. Ripple is proud to support the launch of National Crypto Association, the NCA. Over the last few years, crypto has catapulted to the mainstream. Today, 55 million Americans hold and use crypto, and many more are curious where. And when and how can I use this tech in my life? The National Cryptocurrency Association, a chain agnostic, non-political, non-profit, is here to help by educating and raising awareness of all the utility that crypto technologies are bringing to real people every day. The NCA is independent of Ripple, but we are proud to support, and we are proud to know that you are supporting it, Brad. Thank you for the heads up. And I invite them to XRP Las Vegas, NCA, and I will reach out to you to do that as well formally. Trump will unveil a Bitcoin reserve strategy at the White House Crypto Summit this Friday. Bank XRP says here that Howard Lutnick says they will unveil the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Bitcoin is unique. The other crypto tokens will be treated differently, positively, but differently. And you know what? That makes sense, because that's why I keep coming back to the understanding that it will be different. For one, I think different in that Bitcoin is an investment product to speculate upon, where XRP is suited for payments, which is why I believe it is headed for zero capital gains. Otherwise, no one's going to use it for payments. And there's one of your big positively but differently situations coming. And let us not forget this clip from recently sitting down with Greg Kidd, formerly of Ripple, now owner of Vast Bank, and launching United States Bank Coin, a deposit token regulated inside the banking industry. This is the first bank I'm seeing launching a deposit token. This is a legacy bank launching a stable coin a la deposit token. This is history right here. But listen to what he says when I ask him if he, in fact, because he came from the Federal Reserve, was the one who introduced and opened the door for Ripple to the Federal Reserve. As it turns out, it was the Treasury instead. You know, it's amazing because I don't know how many people out here know that you come from compliance. You come from a world of compliance inside the Federal Reserve. So this is a world you're very familiar with. In fact, years ago, you were one of the first people to join Ripple, and you helped get them compliant and get them there. Were you also like the person who introduced them to the Fed because you also came from the Fed? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think it was the 10th person at Ripple, and I did go with Chris early on to Treasury. I think it was kind of a shocker for Treasury in DC because they realized, oh my gosh, this is a global, worldwide permissionless chain, and their heads were like spinning by the time we walked out the door. So that's back in the days when we thought we were going to get in trouble for being money. Then we found out, no, we're like a security. Now we're a commodity. It's like liquid, solid gas. It was one of those exercises. But yeah, in the early days, nobody knew what this was. So we were the first to go to Treasury and explain what this was.
And that's how they opened the door to the rest of the central banks of the world and governments, ladies and gentlemen. Write that down. You should go watch this full interview. It's amazing. And because of Greg, it's amazing. That's why I can say that. Shout out to him for sitting down with me. And that's why we saw, I believe, Craig Phillips in short order soon join as a Ripple advisor at that point. And since then, Michael S. Barr came from the Treasury as an advisor to Ripple. Susan Friedman from the Treasury, who's also still there right now. Rosie Rios. This is where I say and have said in years past that this looks more like a transition team. You bring these people in. Why would Rosie Rios from the 43rd Treasurer of the United States of America even be at Ripple? Why is she not at Bitcoin? Why is she not at Ethereum? Why is she not at Solana? Why is she not at any one of the other hundreds of thousands of cryptos out here? Because we're the ones. And it will be a multi-chain world after all. But there's a real valid reason why Rosie Rios is at Ripple on the board from the U.S. Treasury, because that's where it all started. And that's where it's going to end. And you might find out a little more about that this Friday. Meanwhile, I think we got some beautiful things to look forward to, because Chaz here is trying to suggest on Fox to John Deaton that the only reason this reserve is happening is so Trump can pay favor as a kickback to the crypto industry for putting so much money towards his campaign. It's nonsense, like most of what Chaz says.
Advocate John Deaton. Wow, big U-turn here.
An XRP expert. We should buy. Let me just throw this at you. The market is down 700 plus points. We have tariff worries. We have debt worries. We have the 10-year acting really weird. Sometimes it's up. Sometimes it's hovering around 4.5%. Why is Donald Trump spending $1 gazillion on a strategic crypto reserve? It sounds like the dumbest thing in the world.
Well, listen,
Sure it does. I'm sure there's very simple things that sound very dumb to Chaz, too. This is complicated, and it's not something Chaz can figure out in real time, but let me help him, because it was a great interview by John Deaton. And look, I know John's sitting with someone who can be difficult at times, because Chaz can be very difficult. But the reality is he goes on and on trying to push this narrative. Was Trump just trying to pay favor by saying that these assets will be in there? And how dumb is it that the government has to print more money to buy these things? Well, on its face, I say, yeah, it does sound silly. But the reality is think of the fact that the U.S. could switch from income tax to fair use tax, which has been floated by Trump and his administration already. And if they were to do this, you could eliminate income tax, switch to a fair use tax, and then you only pay taxes on when you purchase something. And why would that make sense? Why wait to file every year for your income tax if I can collect the tax every time you buy something instead? That's the deal. And aren't we moving everything over to blockchain? Isn't that the reason that we are doing the waste, abuse, and fraud? All of this being done with every government agency, so that way when we tokenize every government agency, we don't take the waste, abuse, and fraud and tokenize it too? The whole idea is we're moving to a tokenized system, whether it's the government or whether we're talking about the traditional economy and finance. Everything of value is getting tokenized and monitored. So scanning it for waste, abuse, and fraud makes sense right before you go to there, just like going to Fort Knox to do the gold. And once everything's tokenized, it means it's on a blockchain that it cannot be immuted. You cannot change the transaction. That means everything of value at some point will be tokenized. So why not get your tax immediately from the transaction when it takes place? This is why I believe the plan is to have zero cap gains on U.S. domiciled assets. Because you're going to incentivize everyone to buy that asset, to work on that network, to make payments and move value on those networks, because there's zero cap gains on them. Where's the advantage? I'm going to collect taxes on everything that you buy. And that's why I would purchase these assets to go in a strategic reserve, because the money it's going to make me back will get me to a place where I don't have to turn on the money printer machine anymore. That's what's going on here, I believe. And the reason I believe that's going on, because once you have the world using these protocols, because there's zero capital gains and they're the most efficient, cost-effective, and scalable and secure, then think of this. Then you could take all of that volume and utility and hold some of that in reserves, oil, gold, silver. It's all been tokenized, digital assets, sovereign money, real estate, property, territories. Hold partial bits of that from every sector of the economy in a reserve, and then underpin the US dollar to ensure its dominance as the world reserve currency for the next 150 years. And isn't that the reason we're getting ready to do stablecoin bill? To have a new use case for the dollar to support its dominance in a digital on-chain economy? Who's hearing this right now? No, well, this is why I love the idea of a basket of assets, right? And I do mean like gold, oil, and digital assets alike. I mean, it stands to reason that that's the way you would want to go. I had a conversation a long time ago, back in 2019, with David Schwartz, where I was talking with him about, having reserves of all kinds of different assets from all over this sector of, whether it's commodities or alike, really stabilize it. If you could underpin the dollar with all of those things, instead of just an agreement to print more or just a petrodollar agreement, then you really would have the confidence of a dollar for the next 150 years. What say you?
I agree.
Oh, that wasn't very tough.
But I mean, you really said it well. To me, it's just a risk to not take that risk. And,
Right.
and sometimes the biggest risk you take is not taking a risk at all. I said it in my election.
This is where we are. This is the ultimate goal. This is why I can get up for 7 years and make 2 to 3 videos, sometimes 4, like yesterday, 7 days a week for 7 years. This isn't an ordinary moment in our life, in human history. That's where I'm at. That's what's going on here. It's the big goal of ensuring the dominance of the US dollar for the next 150 years that will fill my XRP bags. That's the ultimate goal why I'm here. Meanwhile, Dark Defender says XRP's second leg, you better be prepared. This is what we just went through back in July through October. You see this window, how it looked. And we all remember what happened here when we hit November. We all know what happened. And now here we are. He says December to March 2025. Look at this setup. Bink, boom, bink, boom, bink, boom. 24, bink, boom, bink, boom, bink, boom. And here we go. Are we about to see the next leg up, the second leg of XRP take off again? And if we do, are we going to see the same 580% that we saw that drove us from 50 cent to 290? And by the way, I already know you're wanting to know. And at 249, I'm going to do it. At currently 249, 580%, the same pump would put us at $14.44. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'm super excited about Friday and beyond. I hope you are too. I'll catch all of you on the next one.